Going on to our first 2:30 game, we're going to talk LSU Ole Miss. Let me pop this up here so you guys can see it. Another top 15 SEC clash, LSU Tigers visiting the Ole Miss Rebels. Model favors Ole Miss here with that 69.2% win probability. Nice. And projects roughly a 3.5-point win for the Rebels. So field goal plus a hook there. Essentially, the model thinks Ole Miss at home is a slightly better team in what could be a close game. So as we do, let's dig into the reasoning behind that, right? And you can see the key edges there. A lot of them are positive, which do favor the home team. Now, let me put my mug back on screen here as we get into our second one. We're in week 5 now. I talked about this preseason and a little bit into week 1. For people who are just subscribing to the channel or who are new, let me explain kind of what these edges are and how they're used in this model. I'm not going to go deep dive into the math and how the model works per se, but all of these key edges are important determinants in win probability. And in the SEC, especially, home teams have a significant advantage. Call it environment, crowd, whatever you want. That game being played at home carries a lot of weight as far as like those decision splits and win probability. So what this model does is it takes these key edges. So things like EPA per rush, EPA per drop back, early downs EPA, explosiveness, havoc rate, et cetera, right? And it starts to split iteratively on all of these decisions and over multiple iterations figure out which of these correlate, not linearly, but correlate to win probability. Then it regresses those edges to determine the win percentage, right? So when you see a lot of these key edges, these statistical edges favor the home team, even if you might see it a toss up on like FanDuel or, some of these betting sites, the Vegas odds, right? This model is saying that when you see these deltas, these differences favor one team, that team is going to win 69.2% of the time. What it does not mean is that there's 100% chance of this outcome. And that's the way a lot of people tend to interpret these types of prediction models. They tend to look at and go, oh, Ole Miss has a 70% chance to win. They're definitely going to win. No. That is not how probability works. Ole Miss has a 69.2% chance to win, meaning LSU has a 30.8% chance to win, which means LSU could absolutely still win this game. That outcome would happen roughly 30 to 31% of the time, okay? So this model might not be correct. No model is 100% accurate. That would be amazing. I wouldn't be doing this on YouTube for free if I had a model that did that, right? So understand, if you're an LSU fan or you're taking LSU in this game, this is predictive based on these key edges, as well as, some other factors that I'm not going to go into. And it's correct about 70% of the time. There's still a probability that LSU wins this game. All right. So now let's actually talk the matchups that I've sort of explained the model. We'll get myself back off of here. The most glaring matchup in this game to me is Ole Miss's offense versus that really, really stingy LSU defense. Ole Miss has been lighting up the scoreboards. They average 543 yards per game. That's 9th in the FBS, 44.8 points per game, which is good for 12th nationally. Kiffin's offenses go at warp speed, bruh. The fastest tempo in the SEC, maybe second to Tennessee. Tennessee might have some words with that. They will definitely test your discipline with misdirection and some eye candy. It's going to be Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback. The Rebels have been getting it done with him. He started the last 2 games due to an ankle injury by Simmons, and he's been awesome. Coming off a game where he throws for 307, ran for 112, and accounted for 4 touchdowns against Tulane, Ole Miss runs this system where it basically doesn't matter whoever is under center. The offense is not going to miss a beat. They're very, very balanced. They can gash you at the run of the pass. They've got like just a slew of transfer receivers to give them playmakers everywhere. Now, countering that, is an LSU defense that has been one of the nation's best through 4 weeks. They're allowing just 9.3 points per game, which is top 10 nationally, and only about 246 total yards per game. So this is kind of like unstoppable object meets immovable wall. Who is going to win? Well, I think it's going to happen in the trenches. It's a fast, aggressive LSU defense. They play fast and angry. That strength is in their front seven. Guys like Mekhi Wingo, Harold Perkins, they've been dominating the line of scrimmage. And if anybody can slow down Ole Miss's offense, it's this LSU front. So what gives in this, right? Well, the model is leaning Ole Miss, I suspect, because of some questions about LSU's offensive capability. And I've been very vocal about this. I posted about this on Twitter and several of my last prediction episodes and recap episodes. LSU's offense is just simply underwhelming relative to their talent. Their efficiency metrics are not good. So a great defense can only really carry you so far. They started off the year beating Clemson 17-0 and Florida 20-10, but in that Florida game, they had 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions, and only 20 points to show for it. So, nobody questions, like, is Garrett Nussmeier talented? LSU just hasn't shown a consistent ability to finish drives and cash in on scoring chances against quality opponents. So they're going to need to, especially in Oxford, if Ole Miss is putting up points. So I'm leaning with the model on this one. And I'm taking Ole Miss, albeit in a close one. A lot of it comes down to trust in the offenses. I trust Ole Miss's offense a lot more right now. They've been consistently good every single week. Lane Kiffin will have some scripted plays, I think, ready to challenge LSU's defense, like they haven't been challenged yet. This game in Oxford, in that home crowd, the Rebels flying around, that tends to create a little bit of chaos. LSU's defense is championship caliber, no doubt. That gives them a real shot in this game. But if LSU can keep Ole Miss in the mid-20s on the scoreboard, I think LSU will win, because I do think Nussmeier and the Tigers can score on this Rebels defense at least a little. I don't know if they're in the 30s capable, but I think they're definitely in the 20s capable. I'm just not sure that LSU can keep pace. The model basically says to me, Ole Miss 31, LSU 27 type of game. And as a fan of good defense, a part of me would love to see LSU prove us wrong and just show up offensively and make this ugly, like a 15-12, just something weird kind of game. Yet, until LSU's offense shows me that they can trade blows in a shootout, I'm going to side with the explosive Ole Miss attack to win a really, really fun win, a barn burner classic yet again in Oxford. By the way, the last LSU Ole Miss game, 55-49. So expect some definite fireworks from this one.